Hello and welcome back. This is chapter 5th, Indigo, written by Louis Fisher, and today I'm going to explain page number 52 to you. So here we go. Gandhi had four protracted interviews with the Lieutenant Governor, who, as a result, appointed an official commission of inquiry into the indigo sharecroppers situation. So, Gandhiji was summoned to the office of Lieutenant Governor of the province, Edward, and there he had interviews, exchange of thoughts, exchange of ideas with the Lieutenant Governor. Excuse me, and this lasted for, let's say this not only lasted, but such meetings occurred for 4 times. That is, on the 4 occasions, on 4 different occasions, Gandhiji was summoned to the office of the Lieutenant Governor, and the Lieutenant Governor had talks with him. And then, as a result of these interviews, these talks, Lieutenant Governor, had appointed a commission of inquiry to investigate the the condition and the situation of the sharecroppers, because he was convinced that there was something wrong in it, and that's why someone had to come from such a distant place, and not only that, because of some reality in it, that so many people gathered together at a place, as it happened in Motihari, outside the session court of Motihari district. Say Champaran district, Motihari was the capital. The commission consisted of landlords, government officials, and Gandhi as the sole representative of the peasants. So here, this commission was set up, and it included members from each and every group. Each and every group had its representative to the commission. The stakeholders, all these stakeholders were represented in the commission. So the landlords were there, then the government officials were there, and from the peasant side, they were represented by Gandhiji. Gandhi remained in Champaran for an initial uninterrupted period of 7 months, and then again for several shorter visits. Okay, so Gandhiji remained in Champaran. He came there on the request of a peasant, Rajkumar Shukla, and there he stayed there uninterrupted for uninterrupted period of 7 months. That is, for long 7 months, he stayed there uninterrupted without leaving this place. That is, from Calcutta, he reached Champaran, and as he reached there, from Calcutta, after that, he stayed there for 7 months at a stretch, and then again for several shorter visits, and then again he made several shorter visits to this place. The visit undertaken casually on the entreaty of an unlettered peasant, in the expectation that it would last a few days, occupied almost a year of Gandhi's life. Now, what happened is the visit that was undertaken, the visit of Champaran was undertaken on the request of Rajkumar Shukla, a peasant from Champaran, and Gandhiji thought that this visit would last only for a few days. He'd go, he would find the situation, he would make his planning and all, he would discuss things with the people there, and then he would return. But that did not happen. He remained there for 7 long months at a stretch. So that all happened with an entreaty, with a request from a peasant, and that occupied almost 1 year of Gandhi's life. That simple request of a peasant took 1 year of Gandhiji's life, and to remove the problem that he came up with the hope that Gandhiji would do something for them, and that took 1 year to remove that problem. The official inquiry assembled a crushing mountain of evidence against the big planters, and when they saw this, they agreed in principle to make refunds to the peasants. Now, the official inquiry or the official commission gathered a heavy mountain of evidence. That is, they collected a lot of evidence against the big planters, that is, the landlords. And when they saw this, they agreed. And when they found that they were trapped, they were found out with their problems, with their wrongdoings, they agreed in principle. They agreed to make refunds to the peasants. They agreed that yes, we're ready for the refunds of the amount that we collected illegally from the peasants. But how much must we pay? They asked Gandhi. But the question then came, how much should they pay to the peasants? They thought he would demand repayment in full of the money which they had illegally and deceitfully extorted from the sharecroppers, and they believed that Gandhiji would demand 100% refund of the, or 100% repayment, 100% refund of the amount that they illegally, unlawfully, and deceitfully, or that they unlawfully and in a way that involves cheating, that they cheated them and collected money from them. So they thought that they had to make 100% refund of the amount to the sharecroppers. He asked only 50%. But then he asked only 50%. Gandhiji demanded only 50% of refund. There he seemed adamant, writes Reverend J.Z. Hodge, a British missionary in Champaran who observed the entire episode at close range. Now, as they asked how much should they pay, Gandhiji said 50%. He demanded 50%, though they thought that he would demand 100% because they were, that is, Gandhiji was say on the dominant position. He could dominate the situation. He could ask 100%, but he only asked 50% of refund. And there he seemed adamant, and there he seemed very much firm, very much steadfast, determined to get 50% of refund to the farmers. And this is written by this account is presented by J.Z. Hodge, Reverend J.Z. Hodge, a British missionary in Champaran. That is, there was a British missionary in Champaran who was also involved in this case, had written all these things, that he was adamant, and he seemed to be adamant in his demand of 50%, because he saw all these things at close quarters, from the close quarters, very closely. Maybe he was part of this commission. thinking probably that he would not give way. The representatives of the planters offered to refund to the extent of 25%. And as they thought that he would not give way, that is, he would not give in his demand of 50%, they offered the refund to the extent of 25% only. And to his amazement, that is, the representative of the planters offered this, and to his amazement, Mr. Gandhi took him at his word, thus breaking the deadlock. And to his amazement, to the amazement of the representative of the planters, Gandhiji accepted their offer and said, yes, it's fine. You want to return 25%? That's fine. And he was so amazed, so puzzled. And thus it broke the deadlock. Thus both the sides agreed to come at certain conclusion, at certain agreement. This settlement was adopted unanimously by the commission, and the settlement was adopted, that is, the commission accepted this agreement by which both the sides agreed upon the refund. Gandhi explained that the amount of the refund was less important than the fact that the landlords had been obliged to surrender part of the money, and with it part of their prestige. Okay, so Gandhi later explained it later that it was not the amount of money to be refunded, but the prestige. That the prestige that they surrendered before the peasants was important, because earlier they were the lords and they were the supreme power, and now as they made refund of 25%, that is, they surrendered before the peasants. So that was more important to Gandhiji than the refund. Therefore, as far as the peasants were concerned, the planters had behaved as lords above the law, and so long the planters behaved as lords, and they behaved as if they were above the law. Now the peasants saw that he had rights and defenders. He learned courage, and now the peasants found that, well, they had the rights, they had the rights, and they had the defenders. They had the people standing beside them, people who were ready to support, who were ready to defend their rights. And so he learned courage, and so that gave a lot of courage, a lot of power and stamina to the peasants. So this is all for now. Thank you.